Hello everybody, it's Adam here for A Strings, and we are joined today by Mr. Wub Wainwright. He is the mad professor and owner of Ritual Devices. Now, Ritual Devices, you tell us how everything started, tell us how things came to be. I'm fascinated to know about the pedals and how your brain works for these things.
Okay. No one's ever fascinated by how my brain works. Basically, I've been building pedals for quite a few years, and about 5 years ago, I thought, do you know what, I'm going to take this more seriously.
Cool.
And set it up into a business, and slowly it evolved. And probably in the last 2-3 years, it's sort of taken a bit more of a pro approach or something along those lines. I've done a lot of terrible jobs over the years, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to at least try in middle age to make a go of running something for myself, really.
Yeah.
And that's really where Ritual Devices started. And I always wanted to design pedals that weren't the standard. So like I've made countless Tube Screamer clones, fuzz faces, all that sort of thing, and they're great. And don't get me wrong, I love those pedals, but I just wanted to add something new, because I feel like analog electronics was taken over so quickly by digital that things were missed. Like there are some things that weren't explored as fully as they could be.
Okay.
And that's where pedals like the Fey come into play, which is kind of somewhere between a vibe and a phaser and all those sort of things, but only built with transistors. Trying to get it as old-fashioned as possible, basically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really where it all started. And I've just been sitting in my workshop developing new ideas for quite some time. And these are the ones that sort of passed muster.
Yeah. So, in terms of like the builds and the company itself, so everything is handmade by you?
It is. I mean, at one point I was making my own circuit boards, which which is all very well if you're making 10 at a time, but if you're making 100 pedals, it's just not viable. So I have moved to PCB, but it's all designed in-house. The only thing that's made outside is the PCB itself. I populate it myself. All the parts for all of my pedals, even including the more budget ones, are hand selected. I test them all individually before putting them in circuit, so they're all within specification for my design.
Okay.
So like the work that goes into it is fairly massive anyway, and I think if I was still making the PCBs myself and all that sort of thing, I think it just wouldn't be viable. So it was a case really of making that compromise, but I think the sound is exactly the same. There's no difference in the sound,
Yeah.
and the quality long term is probably actually better, if anything. I think, you know, they're more solid and more roadworthy now, I think.
Amazing. So we were talking just before the video, and the one thing that people might pick up on is the artwork that are on the pedals.
Yep.
So, and the same type of thing, that's all in-house by
All
you?
in-house, yeah. So they're standard Hammond style enclosures, but what I do, I acid etch the design into them. So it's quite a deep etch, and then I spray paint the top, sand it back and buff it, so you get the shininess and the what's the word, texture. There you go, texture's the word I was looking for. And I just thought, you know, if I'm spending that long designing an effect, I mean the Faye for instance took me 1.5 years of design,
Yeah.
just of sitting there trying new things, adding buffers, no it didn't work, take it out, that sort of thing. And because of that, I just thought, why not make them look pretty? You know,
Yeah,
why not
absolutely.
try and do something that's going to last? I mean, I was talking to another pedal builder called Marcus Reeves, who does point-to-point wiring, and he etches. And he said to me the other week, I can honestly say your etching is military grade. And I thought that's endorsement, if ever there was one.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's really good.
So how long would you say with, now we said that we've got sort of a budget
Yeah,
sort of
it's
pedal.
sort of more budget friendly. I mean, it's
Okay.
because it's all handmade. It's never going to be your 30 quid
No,
Amazon
absolutely.
job.
So in terms of from start to finish for you to make one, what sort of time do you have?
Really, these ones, I mean, I do them in batches, so
Okay.
it's not just one
No.
at a time, because it just wouldn't work. So in terms of a batch of 10 will probably take me a week to actually finish
Yeah.
the lot, which
Yeah.
is madness. And I don't know why I do it. But once you've started and you've sort of seen the end product, it's really hard to go back to thinking, well, I could just print it on there and I'm sure people would be just as happy.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, I wouldn't be.
No,
So I
no,
think
no.
it's, yeah, it's one of those things I'm cursed with in life. But I think, yeah, a week for a batch of 10, and that I can probably do 3 or 4 batches in a week
Yeah.
of different pedals. But I tend to do them that way. And the more budget ones are obviously a lot quicker.
Right.
That's just a printed design rather than etching and all
Yeah.
that, which is the bit that takes the time.
Yeah.
And I have considered not not doing the etching, but then, you know, I think it's there to stay for now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of the like we keep saying the budget ones, but in terms of these ones, the simpler ones, then components wise, is it any different in terms of production for you?
Identical components.
Okay.
The circuits are a lot simpler.
Okay.
So, for instance, the size of the board in this one is huge.
Right.
Like it was a case of really having to design it within millimeters, like micromillimeters and things, just to try and get everything to fit properly and be functional.
Yeah.
Those ones are a lot smaller. So, like the overdrive is a really simple, old school overdrive circuit, based more, I suppose, based on the Electra distortion, so sort of speaker cranker type thing.
Oh, okay.
Like it
Yeah,
can
yeah,
be-
yeah.
So it's got that topology behind it. sometimes those are the circuits that really help your tone massively, like just little, like a treble boost or a simple overdrive. They're the ones that really, I think they're the ones that help you get into the more complex effects.
So that is it. This has been Mr. Wub Wainwright of Ritual Devices.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
So
Piers.
where can we find your pedals? How can we order your pedals?
Right,
Tell us everything.
I've got my website, which is ritualdevices.co.uk. They are available elsewhere as well, but primarily at the moment they will be available at A-Strings, which
is amazing.
Is fantastic. I mean, especially as we're all in the same town, it just feels like a natural progression to do something like that. And I'm really excited about that because I think it's, you know, I love this shop, and you know, it feels like a really good place for them to be.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Nice.
So you know where to go now. Check out all of the information on Wub's page. It is ritualdevices.co.uk.
That's right, yeah.
Yes, did my homework. But you can also check out all of the pedals on our website too. Each of these pedals is going to get a full video, so you can check them out on our YouTube channel as well. And yeah, let's make some noise. This has been Mr. Wub Wainwright from Ritual Devices. I have been Adam for A-Strings. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Nice one.